Special thanks to our sponsors. In the upper right, our red Zerg, the only Zerg.
State curious.
You know, she really makes the word curious feel a lot longer than it could be. That is like the long distance version of the word curious right there. In the bottom left, he's not dead. In fact, he's... Oh, I didn't time it out right. He is...
TSL alive.
That's not how you want to say his ID. The way you want to say it is aLive.
Now, if aLive was a cat and he had a best of 9 against Curious, who wins that?
Well, I
How
mean,
many
he has
times
9
can Curious
lives, right?
kill
so he would actually
aLive the cat in a best of 9?
Well, that would mean you have to kill aLive at least. You have to kill him exactly 9 times. Well, no, because he has 9 lives, so you have to kill him 10 times.
But also Curiosity killed the cat, so that's why I was saying that.
Oh my
you
god.
Actually,
I didn't get it.
You need to catch on to things like this, Tasteless.
You are smart. That's a good joke, Artosis. I'm actually impressed.
And we're having Hatch first and Command Center first. Great build choices by both.
Yep, it's a big map. It's an open map. Very low chance of a rush. It's one of the reasons why we say this map tends to just make long, dramatic games.
And he's going to have to keep that SCV on the drone. The drone is going to be happy that it found this right away. And oh! Don't want to lose that drone. That would be terrible.
That drone has a family.
A huge family.
A big family.
In fact, all Zergs are related, I think. Probably. They all have the same DNA, right?
No, I think what it did...
They're all just copies.
In the mythology of the Zerg, they alter the DNA of their...
Yeah, but that's like
creatures.
They make it alter, right? They decide, okay, this one's going to be altered DNA or something?
Oh, you know what? You might actually be right, because they all start out with one larva, right? Yeah, and then they got to make an egg.
Otherwise, every now and then you'd have, like, a Hydralisk that was fast off creep, or, like, you know, something like that.
Yeah, normally in evolution, you have mutations occur.
Yeah. But I think they're all exact copies of each other, so...
That is interesting.
Yeah, they're all identical twins. Makes it hard to tell
Talking about a serious identity crisis there.
No, I know. And I mean, they don't even wear clothes, so you can't differentiate them like that.
Yeah, man. Can't be like, I'm gonna be the, I'm gonna be the Sceeny drone.
No, you can't.
My straightened hair, rainbow colored.
That's very true.
I'm gonna be the hippie drone with my dreadlocks.
Should be able to do
tie-dye shirt.
It's too bad, man.
Well, it's like straight up private school here. All got uniforms. All right.
Do you have a quick third hatch by Curious?
And I like that. Yeah, I think that's smart.
Reactored Hellion play is going to be coming from aLive. Very smart as well. He's going to have to try to keep drones off that third. Maybe do a little bit of damage if possible.
Did he shoot down the automaton?
I think he did.
What is going on with this? People got to stop killing the automaton.
Well, here's the thing. It's a robot, so it's not alive.
Well, it's autonomous. You saw R2-D2 and C-3PO.
I did.
Those guys have personalities. The automaton probably has a personality, too.
You know what? If that thing was like C-3PO, I would have killed it, too.
C-3PO's kind of annoying. Whenever I meet somebody who's better at foreign languages than me, I always just I'd be like, whoa, slow down there, C-3PO, you know? I turn their skill into a diss.
Whenever I find someone that's worse at languages than me, I'm like, hey, R2-D2, and they're like...
So they're going to be cranking out workers for a while here, guys. As you can see, the factory, the tech lab up here on the barracks, the reactor here on the factory, excuse me. And again, you know, this is a variation of getting reactored Hellions. Sometimes we see them get the factory and the Hellions out first, then the command center. Other times we'll see them get the command center, in this case on this map, and then get the reactor on the factory and do it in that order.
Well, Curious right now, popping out a few extra speedlings to be safe. We have a ton of barracks going up for aLive, like a ton of barracks, as well as another command center. In fact, he's actually going to hit a sick timing attack. That's what we're going to see out of aLive here. He's getting stim. He's only got 1 gas. He's got 5 racks and a reactored factory.
Wow, this is going to be Marine Hellion.
It's going to be a Marine Hellion all in, basically. You could mix in a couple Marauders if you really wanted. In fact, it might be smart to just grab 1 or 2 to help take out on those spines a little bit quicker and perhaps soak up Banelings. But this is going to be a super aggressive attack. And, of course, Curious just died to one of those, so he will not be happy if he goes down to this one.
Yeah, Curious, if he does lose this, that's a pretty bad draw to get.
Yeah.
You practice so many games, and you have two guys just do two really weird strategies to you. That sucks.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very frustrating.
He needs to keep these Hellions alive.
Oh, he actually had us surround on 2 of them and then messed it up.
Oh my God, he had another opportunity there as well. These Hellions just will not die. And this is a terrible one because that was a lot of Zerglings. Oh my God. Look at that. He only lost 2 Hellions. He can repair those Hellions. All those Zerglings were killed. That was about a dozen Zerglings.
Oh my God. And actually, okay, aLive's build actually isn't all in. This is a different build that we do see occasionally from time to time. It's going to be mass barracks. And he'll probably go ahead and take a third. We've seen this. I'm trying to think of who was doing this recently. Bomber. Bomber's
Bomber's build. You're right. You're right.
Where it's a non-stop rally of Marines. Not exactly SC, MVP, SC style. Similar, but
with
it's
Bomber's
just like,
ones, you keep it expanding.
Yeah, you just keep expanding with it, whereas SC didn't really tech up too much with it. You just kind of did off 3 bases. This is going to be like just constant expanding and pressure, and it takes insane multitasking skill to actually pull this off. So I am like so excited for this, Tasteless.
I'm pumped.
Yes.
Well, I always wonder when you see a build like this, if it's just going to stick. Does this have the stickiness of a good build?
Oh, yeah,
or is this going to be one of these weird builds you can do, but as people kind of catch on to what it is?
I think it's going to be the latter. The latter.
When people catch on to this?
Mostly.
I
but
think
remember, there were occasionally, like TVZ was completely mapped out in StarCraft 1, but still, occasionally, you could do a build somewhat like this and mix it in. It's a good mix-in build, but I don't think that this is going to necessarily be a build that's always around.
Well, I think it's going to work for at least a few years, but maybe just a year or two. But you know what I mean? It's just one of these things where it's like, I think eventually when people start to realize what's coming, you can't just keep expanding like that, you know?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of Marines out right now. This is going to be pretty scary.
Dying of laughter as I was saying.
Tasteless. You're just too funny, man. I saw you see yourself get too far in.
I know, as I said here too, you looked at them.
I think this build will be around for 2 years. It's like, what?
I know. That was terrible.
Miss Cleo wouldn't go that in depth. Like, that's a scary thing to try to guess. How many years a build's going to be around?
It came out of my mouth, too. I thought, well,
it's like with the new expansion pack and everything.
And I thought, now I've said this. How do I get out of this? Zergling's here, getting this hatchery, this command center, rather. And he's not lifting this. He needs to lift that pretty soon.
Dude, if he lost that...
What is going on?
I would be in shock.
What?
He has to drop a mule right there, right now.
Yeah.
And repair that thing.
Well, thank God he didn't actually
drop
lose
a
it.
Mule.
Oh, my God. That thing burns down pretty quick. Are you kidding me?
Oh, jeez Louise.
Oh, man.
Scary. And he had like 5 mules sitting there, too. All right, so a lot of Banelings moving out on the map. Baneling speed is on the way. +2 melee attack as well as +1 ground armor is on the way. So, I mean, he's getting the proper upgrades right now to deal with this. We only have 1 on the way. And a 4th base also is going to be taken by Curious.
All right, it looks like we have some Marines moving up now with the Hellions. And Banelings are very good against this build. It's very just Marine intensive. He's going to need a few more medevacs, though. Can't quite support
Baneling
that many
speed almost done it. aLive punishing him for being out here before it is done.
Oh, but now they're rolling. They're doing their little Baneling somersaults. They took their tumbling class.
Oh, you're so funny. 12 mutas on the way, as well as 15 drones and an infestation pit, of course, against a siege tankless build that it is right now. But he is building siege tanks now, realizing, okay, infestors would own me up. They will be quite nice. But a ton of mutas are out, Tasteless. aLive looks like he's going to be ready, though. I like this. I'm liking this build. I like the fact he's not staying on only Marine for too long. He's got a ton of Marines. He's got a very scary force, but now he's transitioning into 2 factory siege tanks with it for longevity.
Yeah, you need to get those siege tanks out to deal with the Banelings. All right. Muta's retreating now.
The 3rd base.
Uh-oh.
Could be in trouble here.
He's going for the SCVs.
And it looks like he had originally split up the Banelings to actually catch all those SCVs, but made the mistake of right-clicking on that bunker.
Now just going for this command center. He better lift it here. And he does, but these Zerglings retreat.
So actually, aLive deals with that perfectly.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, dropping over here, doing some damage to that hatchery, but not really a lot to the Mutas. Hive is halfway done. So looks like we might see him tech right up into Broodlords.
All right, another push over here. Zerg is just trying to get the Terry to turn around, attack. Oh no! He's just trying to get the Zerg to focus on this army, not on his base. Another attack over here. aLive needs to keep the third base operational, and now aLive has decided to sack the third for one timing attack. If Curious survives this timing attack, it will be very, very, very difficult to recover from.
That is right, and we will see, can he do it? He has got so many Marines. They do have 1-1 upgrades. That's a ton of Mutas.
Oh my god, that's so many Marines. Yeah, but Curious has to hold on to this. Again, he will be fine if he holds up this attack on the 3 base. But God, I think there's going to be so much Zerg stuff that's going to die right now.
Yeah, beautiful Marine splits right now. All the Marines are very low on health. The Banelings rolling in right now, and with that many Mutas, I think he actually does have enough because these Marines are so low on health.
Yeah, he can one-shot these Marines. The drone's now coming out and doing some damage.
Everything's in the deep red.
Curious might be fine.
Well, I tell you, man, there was damage done for sure's, but the greater spire remains. And
saw 5.
73 drones against 53 SCVs. Neither player really lost bases, and it looks like this bottom right base is actually about to go down tasteless. So the game is actually still pretty close, but Curious has to be happy with killing off that army so efficiently.
Really nice move by Curious here. He's going to go for the orbital, try to target that down. He will give up this base to make it a 2-base against 3-base situation. He needs to get those drones out of there.
He's got to be careful, though, because...
But aLive might actually manage to save the orbital.
Well, that would be fantastical for him, and it looks like he will.
No, aLive's actually still
aLive, I think, is going to go right after the 3rd base. Tastes not a lot of defense there. He's rolling some Banelings down, though. So aLive has to be careful. If he loses the army out on the map right now, I don't see him recovering. He needs to keep that army alive. It's very, very important.
Mutas again out on the map. They'll probably go for this 3rd base, which is pretty vulnerable. 2 turrets. SCV stuck in between them to repair.
Well,
you know, with this build aLive's doing, he's never gotten a lot of medevacs, so every time he stims, it's a pretty big deal. And you can use up that entire medevacs army in one stim.
He's got a total of 2 medevacs, and they're both with his 3rd base army, so his army that he's already stimmed in the bottom right is not nearly as powerful as it could be, and not nearly as scary. You know, I'm kind of liking Curious's position here. He's up by 20 supply. He's going to have Broodlord soon. He has Corruptors about to pop. And the Banelings just rolling in right now.
Nice. Beautiful by aLive.
Yeah, only losing a few. Very efficient.
He lost about as many Marines as the Curious lost Banelings.
Curious almost lost a lot of Mutas there. 0-0 Mutas, by the way, against 2-2 Marines. He's got to be careful about that. You should just keep him right now for anti-air with his Broodlords. Oh my god, and he actually has 2-2 on his Zerglings, +3 melee on the way. That's actually awesome. Don't forget that counts on Banelings and Broodlings as well. And that will actually make a huge difference. Having that many upgrades on a Broodling. Broodlings aren't used to that. They're going to be buffed.
They're going to be jacked. Tanks misplaced here. That's unfortunate for aLive. But he's going to move in here yet again. Oh my god, talk about finishing in the nick of time. And at this bottleneck, the Broodlings can actually block off the Marines. He needs to turn around.
And
oh man, look at that. Those are upgraded Broodlings right there.
Those are doing a sick job with the +3 melee attack. And this is, it looks like it might be too much here for aLive. His units are so hurt. Those medevacs are out of energy. And that is way too many Zerglings and Banelings for this health of Marines.
This is not good. I don't even know. We don't have a shot of what's actually back at home, but I don't think it's going to be enough to come back out on the map and make any presence.
Well, he's definitely way down in supply, and with the Broodlords still moving forward with those insane upgrades on their Broodlings, aLive knows he's in trouble cases. He's getting his 3-3s, still making medevacs off 1 starport, but that means no Vikings. He has no Ghost Academy. He has no real good way to deal with these
This
Broodlords.
is one thing about when you do a build like this, you can't transition into that, the ghosts or anything else like that as easily. You know, you have all those reactors on the barracks.
Wow, he's actually just going to go for it. Normally you try to make the tanks on siege, but as is, he's going to lose his whole army. Terrible move by Curious.
I am actually a little bit surprised.
This is like a very basic thing in Zerg play. What you do is you use the Broodlords to make the tanks on siege, and then you send in your Zerglings and Banelings, but he actually just sent it all at once and lost everything, and now the supplies are even again.
Bit of a seesaw game here. I am a little bit shocked with Curious, man. He has a 4th base up and running. If I can see on the minimap correctly, the other 2 bases are mined out, so all he had to do was wait for the Terran to do something and time it.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, it looks like he wants to take down this 4th base again, and taking that down would be huge for aLive. Even if he loses all these Marines, it's very important to get this done. Infestors popping out at this base. They're going to go down.
All right, I hope that command center doesn't burn down. You could take a look at the command center, Tosis. All right.
It's pretty low.
I don't know. Okay, no, he's repairing it now. Thank God. All right.
Broodling's actually taken out 3
I know, right?
Marines, like,
those are upgraded Broodlings.
Yep.
Nice canceling the hatchery.
This is actually such a close back and forth game.
I know. But I think the Zerg's in trouble. I mean, when he gave up those Broodlords, that's a lot.
Well, that's like it's a basic mistake. He's succumbing to pressure a little bit, is what's going on. I think he felt very confident, and guess what, man? You can never feel that confident against aLive.
Yeah, aLive is very resilient. This is why people like to practice against him. Is he can bounce back from situations.
3-3 is about to finish. We do have fungal growths ready on these infestors. And the 4th base going to be taken.
Now this is a big moment because if Zerg cannot deny the 4th base for Terran, it's an orbital or is it a planetary? Soon to be a planetary, Artosis. It's an orbital. Okay. Yeah, it's an orbital. So that's actually something Zerg might be able to take out later. But let's focus on this attack here.
Oh no, the Broodlord's in terrible spots, but actually the Marines going in completely the wrong direction. And the Broodlords will end up taking out the siege tanks.
All right, here we go. More Zerglings. Fungal.
Oh man, fungal growth worth so much now.
Dude, this game is actually amazing.
It is indeed, and this is actually crazy.
Look at this. He decides he's just going to avoid engaging the Broodlords entirely. He can actually target down the hive if he wants to, and drops from there on out would be pretty good. But
his Marines into that medevac, wants to get away.
I'm surprised he didn't just target down the hive.
Uh-oh, Tasos. Look at these drones.
Oh, no.
Wow, those drones get right away. No problem.
If I was a drone, I had gas in my hand, I'd be like, no, I'm holding a Baneling. Stay back. Oh, my God. This is a massacre.
And, well, this is such a crazy game. Now they're both sub 100 supply. We have 99 for aLive, and Curious is stuck at just 63. Ew.
This goes to show you how back and forth this game has been. I mean, these guys are both hanging on by a thread. It could be 1 or 2 mistakes from either side, and it could end the game.
Yeah, and the problem is that we have Mules mining and SCVs mining from 2 bases right now for aLive. So he's going to be able to keep making units. Now, of course, we have very cost-efficient units from Curious. He has Corruptor, Broodlord, Infestor. So that's a great composition to have in these low economy situations.
He's going to lose that. But he might be able to target down an Infestor or 2.
Oh, my God. That'd be the worst thing in the world, losing Infestor those.
I know, right?
And, well, this is the last mining base, and it's not even mining very well.
Yeah, and now he can get behind those minerals even. Meanwhile, the exposed Terran base.
Absolutely what he has to do here. And he's going to have to do perfect fungals. Well, that's pretty darn good so far.
Yeah, that's about as perfect as you can get.
Will these Broodlords be able to clean up the rest, though? The Broodlings do have great upgrades. And that is a lot.
Actually, yeah, they will. I have no idea how this game's going to end, Artosis.
Well, we don't have any Corruptors left, and we have 2 Vikings still making.
Trying to get the Infestors.
And it looks like Curious is going to have to GG it, man. We have Vikings on the way. No anti-air aside from a few infested Terrans.
So yeah, here come those Vikings now.
And Curious is not going to be happy with that, man. This poor guy, just 1 Code A and out 0-2 back into Code A.
Gosh. This was actually a great game, though.
Oh, absolutely.
This was actually a beautiful game.
It truly has been tasteless. aLive, as you see, really not mining either. That's like what he's mining right now. I wish someone would fungal that. He's got like 50 SCVs right there.
That would be like the largest fungal kill ever. GG. Damn, that was a game that was a lot of fun to cast.
Yes, it was. aLive keeps his chances at round of 16 as such. Unfortunately for Curious, he was wondering what would happen if you completely bungled a Broodlord Baneling attack, and he found out.
You know, that's too bad because Curious did make sort of a novice mistake. He basically had his opponent in a position that favored himself, Curious, and he just attacked into him. When you're in a game of StarCraft 2 and you're moderately ahead, not way ahead, but moderately ahead, you should not feel inclined to have to end the game.
The thing is, he was in a good spot.
Get more ahead.
Even attacking there, I'm fine with it. But when you see all these siege tanks sitting there, and you have Banelings, Zerglings, and Broodlords, you attack with the Broodlords, you let the siege tanks damage each other or die or unsiege, and then you go in with the Banelings and the Zerglings. He just sent everything at once. Of course he's got to lose everything.
Broodlords are so expensive. They are so precious. They are so valuable.
You have to keep them alive.
Yeah, that's why when sometimes you see these big attacks and
Zergs have to learn that
Infestors and Broodlords are so expensive.
Yeah.
You can't afford, even if you lose one, it's a big deal.
They have to learn that that's like their siege tank. So many Zergs know, okay, I have to focus on killing siege tanks. But guess what else? You have to focus on keeping your Broodlords alive because it's like the same thing. Except it costs more, and it's harder to tech to.
This guy. This guy.
Him, me.
Professor Tosis. The Tosis. They call him the Tosis.
I hate that.
His back's got scoliosis. No, Artosis, everything he said was correct. So, I think we're going to have a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to have more awesome GSL Codex games. So stay tuned.